Hey Leah, this is Saba again. I got another story for you. We'll run it by your mom, make sure she thinks you're ready to understand it. But it's a good story and I think you'll enjoy it. It's about Madeline. Madeline was a little girl that lived in Paris, and she lived in a home with 12 other little girls, or actually 11 other little girls, and it was run by a nun named Miss Clavel. So this is the story of Madeline. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in two straight lines. In two straight lines, they broke their bread and brushed their teeth and went to bed. They smiled at the good and frowned at the bad. And sometimes they were very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in two straight lines, in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh, pooh." And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. You see, Madeline's balancing and she could fall into the river. In the middle of one night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed and cried and cried. Her eyes were red. And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out to the phone. And he dialed Danton 106. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket, safe and warm. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank and a crack on the ceiling that had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. Outside were birds and trees and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. One nice morning, Miss Clavel said, "Isn't this a fine day to visit Madeline?" See, they're buying flowers to bring her. Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside the door, tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers and a vase. In they walked and then said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. Sorry. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light. Something is not right, and afraid of a disaster, she ran fast and faster. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo! We want to have our appendix out too!" "Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well. And now go to sleep," said Miss Clavel. And she turned out the light and closed the door. That's all there is. There isn't any more. So I hope you like that, Lee. I think that's a fun little story.